Welcome in to the Monday Morning Quarterback UK with your boys Ben, Dami, Kriski and Bids. How we doing?
Good. He's back, boys.
He's run back to the country.
I'm back. It's
been a while.
He lucky got the call up. He lucky came back. We almost dropped you, you know.
I was expecting a little bit of a, you've been removed from the group chat.
Just been straight off.
But I appreciate it.
Who would we have got in instead?
No one, man. It's better three. Huh?
I must say, I was enjoyed listening to it. It got me through part of the run. So thank you, boys. Okay. You came in strong.
Now he's made it nice. We're going to leave it all negative.
Boys? Good.
Yeah, all good over here.
All good.
No complaints. Ready to get back into this.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to get into it.
All right, cool.
All right then. So we're going to start with the unknown player of the week. Kriski's back, so this is normally his segment. So Kriski, start us off. Who was your unknown player of the week?
Oh, okay. I've gone for Will Levis. I feel, as much as he was very known on draft night for various reasons, but his first start in the NFL, and he did well. Yeah. 4 touchdowns, 238 yards, and now with Tannehill down, does he have a shot at starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to start next week, right?
Yeah.
You can't fault him for that. So,
Malik Willis looked garbage when he played.
I mean, he kind of got unlucky. His first stat went over his head. That's peak. That's just that's not his fault, is it?
No, not necessarily, but it does speak to him as a player. Like, no one trusts him.
The center doesn't even trust him.
No, center doesn't trust him either. Like, no one trusts him. No one's confident that he's going to do any damage back there. Anyway, Kriski, talk us through it.
But yeah, other than Will Levis, a couple of the ones that I highlighted for the Commanders. No Scary Terry this week, but Johan Datsun and Jamison Crowder combined for over 200 yards and a touchdown each. So big performances in the wide receiver room, which I thought was quite impressive. And then the final unknown performance of the week was Trey McBride for the Arizona Cardinals.
I heard that name.
So 10 receptions, 95 yards and a touchdown, which would have got you 25 points in your fantasy if you had the boys. I know some of us could have done with that this week. Dami?
Yeah, it's not looking good for me on fantasy at the moment, so I'll be straight on that waiver wire.
Bottom of the group.
I was going to say, you're on an NFL podcast and you are bottom.
And he's getting some smoke in the group chat.
Genuinely.
Let's be honest, right? Just because we do an NFL podcast doesn't mean we know about NFL like that.
Yeah,
Clearly.
That's my excuse. What's you know? You're meant to know.
No, I got too emotional, got rid of all my Giants players.
You dropped Darren Waller.
Yeah.
I mean, he dropped this week, so yeah. But just on Will Levis, his 4 touchdowns on his debut, he's one of 3 people to do it. One is Marcus Mariota.
He had a good debut.
I can't remember who the other guy is. I think he's from a while ago. But yeah, that's crazy.
That's a crazy stat.
Got out of that.
He did back himself. He said he's got one of the strongest arms in this year's draft.
It looked like it, to be fair. He's got a cannon.
And the Falcons' defense is one of the worst ones as well.
Yeah, we can move past the Falcons.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I don't know what's going on with our secondary, man. They got lost.
Alright, so on this podcast, we like to do a bit of a college football update. So Ben, normally we talk about the Colorado Buffaloes. So what happened this week for Deion Sanders and his team?
Yeah, so last week they were on a bye, and I mentioned that they were playing UCLA, the UCLA Bruins in LA. So I gave some kind of stats and explained how I thought that was going to go with UCLA having like the best rushing defense. So it looked like it was going to be tough for Colorado to run the ball. And guess what? They couldn't run the ball. This was not shocking at all. So UCLA won 28-16. So I thought UCLA would win fairly comfortably, but you never know with a Deion Sanders team. They're just rogue and all over the place. But Colorado were forced to throw the ball. UCLA's rushing defense lived up to his number 1 ranking. Sanders got sacked 7 times in that game, so they were all over him. He was under pressure all night. He still threw 27 of 43 for 217. No picks, 1 touchdown, but UCLA ran all over them. 200 yards on the ground, despite 2 UCLA interceptions. Colorado were unable to match up to that defense.
He gets sacked a lot, though, doesn't he?
Our O-line is a bit mixed. Yeah. It's crap, but it's crap. But they've got some talented players, but they're just interesting to watch. Like that UCLA team is strong. That's a top 20 team.
Okay.
Like that's a top 20 team with the best rushing defense in the league in like the whole of college football. You've got a shot in every game you're in, and no one can run the ball on you. And a lot of teams rely on the run. Like obviously USC don't, but Yeah, which I'll get onto next. But USC don't rely on the run at all, apparently.
Okay.
It was an interesting one this week because I feel like this was the first week where some people were kind of frustrated with Deion Sanders' honesty in the post-match press conference, because he actually said like, we're going to get new players on the offensive line.
Yeah,
He generally said that. Yeah, he it was clear that he's given up on them. Like, and it was the first time people were like, no, you should just coach him better.
Yeah, but I think
because people they've been drinking his Kool-Aid, so to speak.
100% agree. Like
they have been. They've been drinking off the Kool-Aid, and now they're like, actually, you just need to coach these guys better.
This is the thing with Deion Sanders. Did anyone think he was going to come in and be like a player developing coach significantly?
Well, they shouldn't have.
No, right? Like that's when has anyone thought that he's got real pedigree in this area? Hell no.
What is his pedigree then? Isn't it
recruitment?
Okay.
Yeah, recruitment, like bringing in players. He's charismatic. He gets people interested. He gets media numbers up. He was breaking records. Like he's a cash cow. They'll bring money to your organisation, but he ain't going to coach them up. Who's going to coach? Like, he might be able to coach corners. Who was going to coach the running backs? No. Quarterback? Maybe because it's his son.
Is that what the rest of the coaches are for?
Yeah. but like again, you got to think that last year they were a nothing program. They don't go from one year to the next and suddenly be a top 10 program. It's way too difficult.
So it's all just the hype then, isn't it? It's just all Deion.
Yeah. I think they're still talented. They've still got some good players. Shad Sanders will be a top. Well, if he goes this year, like we said before, he'll probably go fourth best running quarterback. If he goes next year, he could go first. Like, he is talented, but you can't just overcome that. He's not as good as Caleb. He's just not.
Okay.
He's not. But yeah.
And talking about Caleb, how did USC get on?
Juicy game. So that's my game of the week for sure.
That made me uncomfortable.
Wait till you hear what happened, and then you'll see if you're actually uncomfortable.
No.
So USC played the California Golden Bears. I knew you'd like that.
These names are
Golden Bears.
That's bad. That's not
like a
good.
type of Haribo, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had so many today. Oh my Lord.
You had so many Golden Bears.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
I love Harry.
You're like 8.
It's always got that bang, isn't it?
Leave out.
Got the structural integrity of a gummy bear. Is that what you're saying? Jesus. USC won 50-49. It was a game.
Wait, 50-49.
It was a game.
What, they going to triple overtime or something?
Nope, that was regular. That was a regular game. There was no overtime in that game, and it was a game.
Were they just playing like?
Well, they play with no defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might as well have. It was all over the place. So, let me just give you that again. 50-49. So, Caleb Williams had minus 13 rushing yards off 13 attempts, but 2 rushing touchdowns.
How does that make sense?
Rogue.
So
got sacked.
He must have got sacked like 25 yards.
How much did he drop back?
Yeah, bunch.
He just started sprinting back to his.
He finished up 23 of 40 for 369 and 2 passing touchdowns. Cal, 235 rushing yards, 5 rushing touchdowns.
Oh my god.
Only 5 Cal receivers caught the ball. They didn't throw it to more than 5 receivers. And if you think you've seen like the stats of like an NFL game, you'll sometimes get like 10, maybe 11 wide receivers or receivers catching the ball. 5. He only threw it to 5 guys. So he finished up 25. So Mendoza, who's their quarterback, finished 25 of 39 for 292, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. They ran all over them. So Jaden Ott is the Cal running back. 2 massive runs of 40 plus yards. USC couldn't stop a thing. So Cal led 28-17 at half, 36-29 going into the fourth. USC went up 50-43 with 3 minutes left. Cal work their way downfield, get the touchdown, and then they go for 2.
Oh.
They went for 2 instead of sending it to overtime.
But if they go to overtime, they thought that Caleb Williams would probably beat them.
At least you got a chance.
But no, because if you go for 2 and you get it, you win the game.
This is what I was talking about when the Commanders played the Eagles early on in the season.
Exactly.
And Sam Howell took them down the field in literally the last minute. They scored a touchdown, and instead of going for 2, they went for 1 for overtime, and then the Eagles won in overtime. They should go for 2, man.
It's a bold play. It's a bold decision. But when you're playing a team that good in USC, particularly offensively that good,
yeah.
I don't hate it. You've just driven down the field on them. You've got whatever you want on them. You only need to go 2 yards in one play.
Did they run it or did they?
He tried to throw for it, but it was well defended.
They've been running. You said they've been
Yeah,
running.
they've been running all over them. But it's hard to run because they stack up the offensive line.
That's true.
So the D line, sorry, but it was actually well defended. It was probably one of the best defensive plays USC have made all game. Garbage other than that.
Interesting.
But what a game! Insane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's blown out any of the other games.
Oh,
I said, I don't know how you
insane.
really top that, dude.
This is why I love college
Just make 'em
football,
play
man.
again.
This is why I love it. It's so entertaining. Like, how do you beat that? It's crazy.
And you scored 51 points.
All right, then Bids try and beat that.
I can't beat that.
What was your game of the week?
The game of the week I picked was the Cardinals Ravens.
That was a good game.
It was a good game, but it wasn't anything like that. But yeah, Ravens beat Cardinals 31-24. Ravens were just amazing on the rushing game. Gus Edwards, who I had in my fantasy drafting in a couple of weeks ago, Ben dropped him. I picked him up and then used him to beat them.
Oh, you'd love to see it.
It'd be your own people sometimes.
I beat myself this week.
Wow.
Yeah, so Gus Edwards had majority of the carries, 19 carries for 80 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Crazy.
Nice.
The passing game, it was spread between Rashad Bateman, Justice Hill, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, but they were only really effective in the rushing game. So Ravens continue their winning streak. I think they're on a 3-game winning streak, looking good and really good in the offense, and top of the AFC North. But the game ended a lot closer than you'd expect it to. They went into the fourth quarter, Ravens up 21-7, and then a crazy flurry of touchdowns and free field goals made it end 31-24, which is which is nuts.
I'm surprised because that Ravens defense is a lot better than what they showed yesterday.
Yeah, that fourth quarter was interesting, but they only gave up 7 points going into the fourth, though.
Yeah,
I know. But
and then
They just started throwing it around. Yeah, the Cardinals just started throwing it around.
Josh Dobbs just started balling out. I don't know who he thought he was in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, literally. Will
I don't know
Levis.
who he thought he was.
Will Levis.
Yeah.
But like you often see like just shootouts at the end of games, and like sometimes it goes against you and you throw a bunch of picks, Patrick Mahomes, or you or sometimes it works out for you, right? It's a big risk, but that's why teams don't just start the game, go no huddle and just launching it, unless you're Will Levis. But
Yeah.
Is this now the Will Levis fan club now?
Well, we'll get into it later, but he looked so excited to be there.
He did.
He just looked happy
Yeah,
to
It was
be
the best day
there.
of his life.
I really enjoyed
Took
watching
his
him.
To be fair, it'd be your best day of your life as well.
Oh,
Just
Rax.
on your debut in the
100%,
NFL,
yeah.
4 touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns.
But he just looked. He didn't believe. I'll get into it later, but he didn't even look like he believed he threw the touchdown. He was like, "Did that just get caught?" He's just looking around like, "Did someone just catch that?" Oh, he's completely uncovered. Say less.
Yeah, it looked like a natural to me. Like I think I said a couple of weeks ago that I wasn't sure if he would ever sort of make it there because I didn't see him as being the sort of person who would sit behind Tannehill and maybe another, and then have the mentality to come through. And I was wrong.
The Titans are garbage
I was
though
wrong.
on the quarterback. But anyway, Cardinals Ravens, good game.
Yeah,
Trey
very good
McBride doing his thing.
Yeah, your boy Trey McBride apparently scored.
He was present.
All right, Kriski, what was your game of the week?
I went for Rams versus Cowboys. Cowboys came on top, and the main reason I picked this was, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I was slating Dak saying he's not that guy. Still not convinced, but
He got sacked a bunch of times, man.
he did well, I must say. He threw for over 300 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and that offense actually looked good. CeeDee Lamb balled out 150 plus yards, 2 touchdowns, and yeah, they look fantastic. Offenses, obviously with a strong defense, we got another pick 6. So overall, Cowboys looked very impressive. So that was the game of the week for me. I thought,
Stafford will do that though, won't he?
Yeah,
Stafford will do
loves
that.
it. He loves throwing it.
Stafford will throw you some nice passes, and then he'll just launch one into the
he was
DB's
like a good
arms.
5 yards away from Cup as well.
Yeah.
He's misread that.
Misread it.
And that's not the same Rams defense from their Super Bowl season either.
no.
So
No, I didn't realise he was Aaron Donald's first sack this season as well.
yeah, I
Was
think
it?
Because they
And
doubled
he would still
him.
be
Doubled.
the predicted to win the Defensive Player of the Year somehow.
Probably.
No, it'd be
Oh,
top.
is it Michael
He's-
Parsons still?
Yeah, still Michael Parsons. Insane.
Yeah.
No, it's because he just gets double covered. They double cover him. Someone chips him, or they often just have 2 offensive linemen just just gripping him up.
It's respected.
They do. They're like, you will ruin our game if we let you go. Like, and they double, and people, spoke about it before, but people double Myles Garrett, it doesn't
He
matter.
just jumps over them, man.
Yeah.
That's because he plays on the edge,
Yeah.
whereas Aaron Donald's the nose. So, yeah, is what it is.
And my game of the week was Commanders versus Eagles. So this was my prediction for game of the week. Last
sorry,
week.
big time.
Yeah. I mean, I chose it myself, so it doesn't quite work that way. But yeah, now Washington were up by 7 with 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then the Eagles would go on and score 3 touchdowns in the next 10 minutes to go up by 14.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then Howell was able to get it back so it was 31-24. But yeah, the game was able to get it to 31-24, and then it got to 38-24. But at the end of the day, they just weren't able to really get back and actually tie the game up. But it was such a close game, and I said about divisional games, right, that they're always so close. They're always so close, and you would say the difference in quality between the Commanders and the Eagles is huge, right?
Yeah.
But they still play each other really close, and somehow he's put up 3 or 4 touchdowns in every game he's played against the Eagles so far.
Which points this week?
Those Commanders, they're sneaky good. They're not bad, but they just have games where they're just all over the place, and then others where they're just. Yeah, but I mean, Sam Howell continues to be Sam Howell. That pick was busted. That pick was horrendous.
He tries, man. He tries.
Tries to give the game away.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I mean, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes and Matt Jones have all thrown the same amount of picks as him, so...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that is statistically accurate. I ain't arguing that.
Alright, so moving on from game of the week, we'll start with Biggs. What was your moment of the week?
My moment of the week is Tyreek Hill just breezing past the DBs to score that 40 plus yard touchdown.
Man, that's every
What was the point in them? Honestly, what was the point in them? He didn't even really run a route. He just ran straight, bare fast.
I have him in my fantasy team, and I'm so happy about it because I knew he was going to be the number 1 receiver this year. But I will say, what is that defensive setup?
I didn't get it at all.
I love that they broke it down when watching on Red Zone as well, because they were like, you can't play in out. Like, you can't play 2 in out, like an out DB and then the safety in like that. You have to have the safety further back because otherwise he just breezes straight through. Yeah. It's happened like 3 times this season already, and every time he's just run straight through it. So he's like, all right, thanks. Yeah. Free touchdown.
They didn't even get a paw on him, man. You got to put some paws on him.
Exactly. That's what I'm betting now. You're
not a single paw.
Man, stop saying paw.
Looking at me just saying paw.
I was just saying, no, but you can't play that way. You can't give him space up front and then also space over the back as well. Yeah. So you need to have someone chipping him at the line, i.e. corner playing him man on man at the line and getting hands on him early. Pause. Not. You know what I'm trying to say with a W. With a W. With the you can't play the safety that shallow if you're going to do that. Like, if you're going to play him there, you have to play the safety deeper. Anyway, it was pretty obvious when you watched it. They broke it down in red zone, and it was tough to watch. Well, I mean, not for me because points, but garbage.
He just blitzed past them. It was like they weren't there. There was no point.
Yeah, 100%.
He didn't stop there though. He then went into the end zone and then he just ran around and just ran all the way to the bench. He just sat there just like with a big smile.
So funny.
Stop running.
Oh, it's just so what?
It's so funny.
Absolute character, man. Like,
was that your moment of the week?
It was going to be, but yeah, I'm asking on the second one quickly now. But yeah, so.
Okay, and Ben, what was your moment of the week then?
We already mentioned it, but Will Levis just looking genuinely shocked that he'd just thrown a touchdown pass in the NFL and that it was a huge play to DeAndre Hopkins. He looked genuinely just excited, shocked, happy. Like, it was just a genuinely pure moment where he was just like, there's no way I've just done that. And then he does it again and again, and obviously
again and again and again.
He just looked mad happy.
DeAndre Hopkins with 3
Irrelevant, man. You still won the week.
On my bench.
You still won.
Let's do chairs.
It's 1 point.
I think at this point in time, I think I'm 118.56 and you're 118.3.
It's like 1 point, isn't it? Yeah.
And I've got
But you got Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
But you just look genuinely happy, and that was a really nice
very
moment.
wholesome. I think all his family was there.
That was cool.
So Kriski, outside of Will Levis balling out and Tyreek just running away from people, what was your moment of the week?
So I was a big fan of AJ Brown setting the record for the most consistent games, and he did it in style with that one-handed catch.
That was nasty.
So
That's the most consistent games of over 125.
Yes, 6 games in a row, which that's mad.
That's insane.
Insanity.
Absolutely insane.
Which I'm back into a 7 next week against the Cowboys, so watch your space. But then I did have another funny moment
Nasty.
as well, which was after the Broncos beat the Chiefs, they played Taylor Swift "Shake It Off" after the game, and
That's a violation.
Toxic.
The funny thing is, they would have had that ready.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I mean, he didn't. I mean, Travis did perform when she wasn't there.
Yeah, stick me in that column, when she's not there.
He halved his receiving yards.
The thing is, part of me is like, I rate the Broncos for doing that, but also it's like, it's the first time you beat the Chiefs in 8 years.
Yeah,
like,
celebrate your moment.
Do it.
I mean, I'm sure if the Giants beat anyone, they would celebrate like that. Say something.
Shake it off.
Say something.
I have nothing to say. Nothing to say.
So yeah, that was definitely a quick highlight for me.
Toxic and sensational. I loved it so much. That's what you love to see. Just really mess it up at the end. Like, you could walk off heads held high, and they're like, no, let's really mess up the relationship. I want to see some stuff.
Let's play with them and live in their head rent free.
Yeah,
I love it.
For the next year, and then let's see what happens next year. And they come back and put up like 85 of us.
You know the Swifties are coming.
We're going to buy up the whole stadium.
They're already on their way to Denver. Yeah, that's an upset though.
Yeah.
It is.
I know he was meant to be ill before the game, but hey, Michael Jordan was ill before that game and he balled out still.
Yeah, he looked ill. He didn't look himself at all.
Yeah, they were poor. They were really poor yesterday. And then for me, my moment of the week, was the Panthers getting their first win in the season. Sorry, it's just a nice moment. It's not nice to see teams being 0-16. 0-17.
That's hilarious.
0-17. Like, that'd be so. Because it's literally pointless. Like, all right, they've already sewn up the first pick of the draft next year. Like it's boring. I want to see teams competitive. I want to see at least teams having 2-3 wins, and they got their first win, so they might get a second win soon.
The Texans team looks good this year as well.
Yeah.
It's a good win.
It's a
solid win
over the Texans.
Well coached game.
Yeah, it
Well
was.
done for being nice, Dami.
Yeah,
he goes into his
I was just
just wait.
Next.
Just wait. Yeah, Dami, roll us onto it and let's see how nice you are. Talk to us.
All right, so my fix-up list, it's 3 individual people this time. So my first one is Kyle Shanahan. He has a stacked roster, stacked team, very good front office. He has everything he needs to be winning games. They've now lost 3 games in a row, and I'm sorry, it can't just be because you had an injury at right tackle one game, you had an injury at wide receiver another game. Every team has injuries. You have to find a way to deal with that. And the fact that you've lost 3 games in a row, you're now no longer at the top of your own division. And it's the Seahawks. So now those head-to-head games mean so much more than they did before. And the fact also, it doesn't look like they're taking care of Brock Purdy, because he was in concussion protocol, and then he played, and then he hit his head again, and now he's probably going to be out properly for a couple of weeks because it looks like he maybe got a second concussion from yesterday's game. So it's like, bro, what are you doing? You've got to look after your QB. Because you got Sam Darnold, but do you really believe in Sam Darnold that much? And you've also got to find a way to win games even when your defense are not particularly playing as well as they should be doing. So yeah, he needs to fix up for sure.
Anything that Brock Purdy fans would like to add whilst we're here on the table? Any defence you'd like to offer?
I was chatting to Dami before, and I will come to some defence of him. One, because he's obviously clearly got a concussion, so yeah, he's playing out of his skin. But all jokes aside,
3 games.
there were still glimpses that he's actually a capable quarterback. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not had a great run of games.
Capable. You like that? Use the word capable, not MVP this time.
No one said MVP at any point.
But yeah, he did, like, there was glimpses. I was saying to Dan, I think Burrow had a moment where he got out of the pocket, scrambled and made a big play, and then the next drive, Brock did pretty much the same thing. So I was like, you don't see like other quarterbacks like Zach Wilson doing that. I do think Brock has got a reason to be in this league. So and then the bye week,
be a starter in this league.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the bye week has come at a good time for him. They're going to regroup and get a couple of guys back healthy, and then yeah, we'll watch. We'll watch them come back stronger.
I don't hate that defence.
Thank you, Dami. You know what? Matured with my 2-week break. Thank you.
You had a lot of time while you were doing all that running, cycling, swimming.
Exactly. I was just thinking about Brock all the time.
Oh my god.
Strange but cool.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 on my picks up list is Arthur Smith, head coach of the Falcons. He waited way too long to bench Desmond Ridder. I've been asking for Desmond Ridder to be benched probably from like birth.
Wow.
I don't rate him.
Oh no, we got that.
Yeah.
I don't rate him. I don't like his DoorDash advert. Have you seen the DoorDash advert?
No. Can you just edit that in with him being like, I'm really nice, like 2 minutes ago, and then him just dogging Desmond Ridder.
I don't like the way he uses Bijan. I don't like the way he uses Drake London. I really don't like the way he uses Kyle Pitts in the passing game. And then he called a play where he had Jonnu Smith throwing a pass to Drake London, and it was just weird. Like, it didn't work out, and they ended up having to settle for a field goal when they were in the red zone. I was just like, bro, what are you doing?
You know that play? They had Kyle Pitts blocking as well. It looked garbage. So Jonnu Smith is the tight end.
Yeah.
Drake London, obviously, one of their better wide receivers, and then Kyle Pitts, 8th player in the draft. Like one of the highest rated tight ends that's ever come out of the draft, blocking. You're like, what's happening here?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most frustrating things with the Falcons. That Kyle Pitts just
not present, is he?
No, and I can't get my head around why he's just not seeing the ball.
Arthur Smith, man.
It just
I started properly following the NFL after he was drafted, I think. And anytime when we were at the NFL games, London games, I saw nothing but Pitts shirts, and I was like, why is everyone wearing a Kyle Pitts shirt? Guy doesn't even touch the ball.
He's meant to be a transcendent talent, and he's just not being used that well.
Yeah,
or at all.
Well, no,
his last game, national tight end.
He's playing a lot of snaps.
He plays a lot of snaps, but
yeah, they like him in the blocking game.
Is that what he's? Does that what he's best at?
He's an absolute athlete, man.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be used for
passing game was more what he came in for. Anyway, who's third on your list, Dami?
Yeah, so third on my list is Andy Reid / the Kansas City front office.
Wow.
Right. So they let Bieniemy go, and they were happy to let him go to Washington. And for Bieniemy's career, it's probably the right move for him. I don't think it's worked out for the Kansas City Chiefs yet, because they have only had 2 good offensive games. One against the Bears, one against the Chargers. They replaced him with Matt Nagy, who doesn't have a great record as a coach. And Mahomes' stats, I think, are the worst of his career so far in the first 8 weeks of the season. So something's not going well there. And also, the front office, they need to sign him a good wide receiver. Not an excellent one, just a good one. Because Rashee Rice, he's a rookie, right?
Yeah, he looks alright.
He's a rookie, right? You got Moore, who dropped a touchdown pass that was
tough.
It was tough, but he should
catch.
make it. As an NFL professional, you should be able to make it. And then their only reliable wide receiver threat is a tight end who's 33 or 34 years old. He is getting to a point he won't be able to play for maybe 5 years. I can't see him playing another 5 years. And he will also start to get more injury prone. And then who have you got?
I mean, he's already picking up injuries for the first time in his career.
You got MVS, who's okay. You got Justin Ross, and then outside of that, your wide receiver talent.
I don't know that guy.
Your wide receiver talent is really poor. They got Miko Harmon back, but then he dropped the fumble.
That muffed punt.
Muffed the punt.
Garbage.
And it was literally they were they were down 14-9. They just got the ball back. They got a three and out on the Broncos. They could go up the field. He muffs the punt. They're within the 10 yards, and then they score a touchdown. Takes it to 21-9.
Yeah.
Basically, you're out of the game then. So
damn, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that is my fix-up list for the week.
Fair enough.
Nice
and short. Kriski, have you got anyone to add to that?
You know what, Dami? I'm going today. A whole city. New York. I don't know if anyone watched this game. I really hope no one did.
A whole city.
The whole
wasted
city,
like 3.5 hours.
New York Jets versus New York Giants was possibly going to be one of the worst games. And the worst thing is that all those paying fans, it got dragged out because it went to overtime as well. You know, there was 25 punts in that game. Imagine paying to watch a game where there was 25 punts.
Unless you love a defensive battle.
I don't even think like college kickers want to go and watch a game with 25 punts.
25 punts.
So, honestly, I feel they're on the list just because I feel bad. So the whole of New York, because you've got two teams in that city, and not one of them could actually put up a good drive.
So the only thing I'm going to say is that Tyrod Taylor got his ribs fractured.
That was mid-game. Like, he'd already played trash before.
Yeah, but he could have played better in the second half with adjustments. But the fact he was out and we had to play Danny DeVito's son, or whoever hell he is.
Are you really backing your Giants at the moment?
I think we would have put up more than 10 points if we had Tyrod Taylor the
Based
whole
on
game.
what evidence?
I don't know. We played well against the Bills. So we played well against the Bills, and we won last week. And our defense clearly played well because they kept them to 10 points in regular time, and that was because Graham Gano missed. Graham Gano. Missed a field goal within the last
I will say though, you say that you think you should score more than 10 points. Would you like me to go over how many points you scored in each game? Because there's very little evidence here.
Starting with 0.
There's just very little evidence for me. So 0 against the Cowboys, 31 against the Cardinals, 12 against the 49ers, 3 against the Seahawks, 16 against the Dolphins, 9 against the Bills, 14 against the Commanders, 10 against the Jets. What evidence have you we should put more than 10 against the Jets?
Spread.
14 would have won yesterday.
Yeah, but the Jets were a better defense than the Commanders.
Yeah, but
So the maths would tell me that you shouldn't score more than 10. Garbage team. Bids.
New York's on the list.
Who do you want to fix up?
To be fair, I first had the whole city of New York as well. You beat me to it because that game was trash. Even watching it on Red Zone, I was tired. I just muted it when it came on. But my fix up is DeAndre Hopkins, because every time he's in my fantasy team, every time I've started that guy, he's been trash. We went and watched him live, trash, nothing. And then first time I drop him to my bench, he scores 34 points.
You know what, I think he even know that he shit out on everyone else. Because I think even he said it afterwards, he was like, yeah, everyone thought I wasn't relevant anymore.
He's still an elite wide receiver.
No,
There's just no one to throw him the ball.
Exactly, that's what I thought. I thought Tannehill's out. He hasn't been performing. It's going to be a trash performance, and then three touchdowns.
Yeah, but it's again, this is nothing to do with Will Levis or really DeAndre Hopkins. That Atlanta secondary, holy crap!
They got lost
3 times in a row.
Yeah, he got
in
lost.
the same game. You lose the guy completely.
Yeah, he got turned around, didn't he? Yeah.
Completely.
It's because Will Levis shorted the throw, so the corner stayed with him, and DeAndre Hopkins turned around and was like, "No, okay," and just jogged back and caught him, and the corner's like, "Where'd he go?"
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
we have said the corner is one of the hardest positions to play.
Tough.
It is.
However,
It's tough. Well, you've seen the clip. You've seen the clip. Cooking fools.
Yeah, so DeAndre Hopkins. It's not an actual fix-up, but he just pissed me off.
Damn.
And then
Got like his time performed better when I had my team.
Damn.
you're so bitter, man.
Yeah, he's so
I
bad.
still won though.
And then you're the last one up. Who's on the fix-up list?
I just wanted to comment on. I'm not going to add any specific player, but I just felt this needs to be commented on because we haven't said it yet. But the Giants had a total of -9 total passing yards.
What?
They had a total passing yards of -9. And normally you see that kind of thing in like a bad weather game, a snow game.
It was bad weather. It wasn't great weather.
No. I meant bad weather, not like mediocre weather. Like actual bad weather, like where it was like torrential snow in Buffalo 2 years ago where they could only run the ball. Like, -9 in the whole game? -9.
But you can still put them more than 10 points. What? No.
It's actually hard to do.
I tell you, Tyrod Taylor, if he was there,
He was part of that.
Yeah, he was part of that,
Oh,
and then
God.
got his ribs obliterated,
Man. He fell on his ribs, like.
and he's fractured his ribs.
Yeah, man. Have trouble bones.
He might have a better chance at...
Coming from you.
I broke a bone. Is that my foot?
Speaking of which, Bids, run us through your injury, man. We're sick of fixing up players. Talk us who needs actually fixing.
There was a lot of injuries. So again, I'm just gonna go through team by team, just the most important ones. Falcons, Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle with knee injury. Drake London, wide receiver, had a groin injury. Didn't look like much, but
pulled it or something.
Yeah, just pulled his groin. Rado apparently went through a concussion protocol, but it was clearly just a reason to bench him. And then the coach, I can't remember what he said his name was, did a really weird press conference afterwards where he didn't really say, he didn't say he dropped him, but he kind of said he dropped him, but he wasn't injured, so it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, he didn't want to commit, did he?
Yeah. He just dropped him. I just let him.
Yeah.
Be more like Dion. Replace him. Bears, Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker with a knee injury and didn't return. Chiefs, Willie Gay, linebacker, had a tailbone injury. Again, didn't return. Sounds terrible. Mahomes had a little scare with his left hand. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he was getting some treatment for it, but he was fine to return. We've had ACL tear number 25. Jimmy Reeves, from safety from the Commanders. It's not good. To be fair, it's been the count is going up a lot slower than.
It has slowed down. I was thinking that has slowed down last few weeks.
More than in probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know,
which is.
It's a lot.
What was it? 52 last year. And you said it was 52. We're at 25.
Yeah.
We're about halfway through the season.
Yeah. Rams, Stafford he injured the same thumb on the same hand. Same thumb on the same hand. He injured the same thumb on his right hand 3 times.
Oh, that was tough to watch.
First, he just threw the ball and hit the helmet of the Russian
at pace, rammed his thumb. It looked like he shattered his whole thumb.
And the second time, I can't remember what the second one was, but again, I think it was passing it, hit something in. And then the third one was that trick play where they... I can't remember who threw it to him, but... no, it's Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, Tutu Atwell chucked
it to him. It was a bit of a crap throw, so yeah.
I don't know what the thought process
and then go for it with his busted hand and landed on the thumb.
I honestly don't know what the thought process is there when you've got a busted up thumb.
None.
Yeah, let's try a trick.
Talk about protecting your quarterback. Yeah, and apparently the third one is the one that did the most damage.
Of course it is.
I've never seen so many times you can tape a thumb. Like, they can't go about the time, they'll try, we'll try it this time, we'll try it this way.
Can't keep taping it.
Yeah, just throw some more tape on it, it'll be fine.
But besides the ACL tear, the most significant one was Captain Kirk.
Yeah, that didn't look good at all.
Sad. So it's been confirmed that he's torn his Achilles.
2 Achilles.
And he's out for the season.
Damn.
Bro.
Never missed a game through an injury before.
Really?
Never.
He's been solid.
And the Vikings were looking good.
They were coming back.
They were looking good.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell the way he dropped.
Yeah,
he was like,
same. And the way he got hepped off the pitch. It's just,
it didn't look good at all. Him and Rodgers, damn.
Yeah, it's rough.
Might be back in 4 weeks though.
Yeah, rough for them old men. But I mean, Roger looks good on the. He looks better than I thought he would. He's just standing there throwing passes.
No, I saw.
He doesn't need to move, but he doesn't really move much anyway. Just
you
leg straight, knee straight.
You saw how tentative it was.
Yeah.
That was all for show. I was like, you've been told.
And he's crying.
Yeah. How many painkillers are you on? And you have been told to keep that foot as still as possible. You could see he's like moving around it. I'm like, what are you doing? Who's this for?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Couple more. Tyrell Taylor, we mentioned, rib injury. He got kept in hospital overnight, so he probably has got some fractures. But Darren Waller as well, with hamstring injury. That was quite early on in the game. I mean, if he had played, you still wouldn't have done anything. Steelers, Kenny Pickett, another rib injury, didn't return. Eagles, defensive tackle Milton Williams with a shoulder injury, and Jalen Carr's back injury and didn't return.
Yeah, that was a lot of injuries.
A lot, and that's when we're just saying the most notable ones. There's
a lot of
so many injuries in each week. Like, it's crazy. I know it's a contact sport, but damn.
Let's take a break from the episode to pay some bills. The protein shakes for the big man are not cheap, are they?
They're not.
The steroids, you mean? So the Fantasy Gameday app is a way to play weekly monetized fantasy American football. So we've been talking about fantasy American football for throughout the episode and throughout the episodes over the last few weeks, and we love it. And it's a nice, fun way, safe way to gamble a little bit on it, but on your fantasy team as well. You can change your team each week, and we got a code for you. So code is MMQBU. You deposit $7.50 and you'll get a free $7.50 to play with. $7.50 per lineup, and you can enter up to 5 lineups per week, so you can increase your chances of winning. So the top 20% of players make money, with the top 2 this week, for example, taking home $135 each. Which ain't bad. It's not bad.
I'll take it.
You take it.
It's more than that one.
It's a little bit. 34th to 10th took home £21 each, so you triple your money. So again, just under triple, so that's not bad. You pick your full lineup using a pot of money, and you pick an additional player to be your captain who gets double points, but you can't pick a quarterback. So it's kind of a combination of fantasy American football, but you can change your team each week. Combination with that and some of the elements of fantasy Premier League, which we all play as well, having the captain option, which is cool. It's set up by a group of guys local to the area, local to London. Like, it's all registered locally as well. It's none of this, DraftKings where they're like a huge company who are just milking cash. Like, it's not like that. And yeah, let's just get into it a little bit. So speaking of that, who do you guys like as your captains this week? Who are we feeling?
I'll kick us off. I've gone for Cooper Kupp. I think the Rams bounced back, and yeah, from Cooper Kupp we got no targets pretty much this week. I think he's going to have a stellar game. So yeah, I'm back into go with, and plus he's in my fantasy team as well. So yeah,
is what it is, right?
Yeah, I'll go for Austin Eckler. It works similar to fantasy where it's PPR. Austin Eckler gets a lot of receptions for as well as rushes. So I'm going Austin Eckler.
I'm going AJ Brown. I mean, he's the most.
How could you not?
He's the most informed wide receiver at the moment. I think they're going to cook the Cowboys this week, and I expect AJ Brown to at least get over 125 yards.
Damn,
like he's been doing
7 in a row.
Yeah, 7 in a row. So.
Crazy. I like Alvin Kamara, absolute PPR stud. So the scoring is the same as PPR, which is how we play our fantasy NFL teams. And yeah, Alvin Kamara has been an absolute stud. So I'm going with him for sure. So download the Fantasy Gameday app, use code MMQBU, details on the screen, and there's you can click a link in our description, sign up, and it's again free $7.50. It's worth it.
Enjoy.
Now back to the episode.
Yeah. And then moving on to game of the week predictions. So we'll start with Kriski. What is your game of the week prediction?
So it's following on from me calling out Dak. I've gone for the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Is Dak going to be that guy? Divisional game, we spoke about it. Divisional games being massive, and I do think the Eagles-Cowboys is one of the biggest ones you get. Yeah. And I think, Cowboys could be a decent team this year, playoff picture, but I do see the Eagles coming out on top on that one. I don't think Dak is that guy. But you never know, tune in next week, and I could be completely wrong.
The Eagles' defense haven't been great. Because I again drafted them in as my defense on fantasy because everyone said they're one of the best defenses. Haven't got over 10 points. No. They've trashed every game.
No, but I do see that kind of throwing a pick. That defense get into a little bit, and I do still see I think we mentioned before, and the CeeDee Lamb is going to start a strong game.
Unreal.
But I do think that will make a couple of mistakes which will be costly, and I just don't think that their defense will bail them out like they've done throughout the season.
I still have that memory of the 49ers putting 40 on them. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with the Cowboys.
They took it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
They put it on 40 and they easily could have been more.
Yeah.
Easily
I,
could have been more.
I like that one to maybe turn into a shootout.
Yeah.
That could turn into a bit of a
Could
shootout,
easily.
that one, but
Okay.
could be good.
So, Biz, what is your game of the week prediction?
Alright, I have two. I'll just go with Bengals and Bills. Joe Burrow is firing again. He seemed like he's recovered from his injury. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs. Bills haven't been great. Josh Allen's had a bit of a weird season.
Yeah. Not since the Dolphins, really, have they? They've actually put a good performance.
Yeah, so again, this one could potentially turn into a shootout with both of them sort of needing to prove why they are top 5 QBs in the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, Bills just need to be the Bills of the last year or two, because it's just a weird watch to be honest.
I'm sure you see that going then.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't imagine the Bills beating any of the any of the good teams at the moment. And the Bengals, like I said, they're performing well. You got Jamar Chase, who's Jamar Chase. I mean,
they look good last night.
Have you seen the Bills' schedule?
now go on.
It's brutal. So they play the Bengals, obviously, then Broncos, okay, Jets, tough defense, and Jets already beat them this season, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots,
Oof.
Dolphins.
Yeah, it's not good.
How many of those are actually wins? Because I'm only counting 2, maybe 3.
I hate to say it, boys, but first episode of the season, we did bold predictions, and I said Bills not to make the playoffs, and you all laughed at me.
Did you actually?
Genuinely said that. I think even Jen.
We're going to put it right here.
Genuinely. And you all laughed at me.
We tried this last week and
fair-
you were wrong.
Yeah, to be fair, one of my bold takes was that the Jets would make the playoffs and the Bills wouldn't, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
I still think the Bills make the playoffs, but they're going to be a wild card for sure. They're not winning that division.
How many more games are they going to win though? Like, how many more games do they need to win
That's
against the playoffs?
But the thing is, the Bills
More.
they do tend to turn up for some of the big games. Like they turned up against the Dolphins and they destroyed them. Like the Dolphins didn't have a chance at all in that game, and they normally play the Chiefs quite well. The Bengals had their number last year. That was just such an easy win for the Bengals. But I think they win some of the games. Like I think they'll run the Cowboys
I do
first.
think
They'll probably beat the Cowboys.
home field advantage will come into play as well
Yeah.
in those later games as well
Yeah.
when it turns horrible in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna. Well, I'm guessing the Dolphins are gonna go there as well.
Yeah.
So that's I do think that's gonna play a big part. But you know what? Stand by.
Josh
Bills
Allen,
must make that.
Josh
No,
Allen's
the
not going
Bills,
to throw those 2 picks against the Jets again. He's not going to give the game away because they lost the game because he gave the game away against the Jets.
He's not
not
Superman, man.
The Miami game is in Miami.
Oh, is it?
They've already played at home and they beat them at home 48-20.
Okay.
Yeah, they go to Miami. So I think Miami win that at home.
Take that back.
I just think it's tough. Like they should be the Broncos. Jets would be a tough game, but okay, let's say they be the Jets. Eagles, probably not. Chiefs, probably not. Cowboys, maybe, but
I think that's more 50-50.
Chargers.
Oh, they beat the Chargers.
Okay. Patriots.
So easy. Why you say it like that, man?
That's
no.
tough. And Dolphins, we said no, so that's 4.
Yeah.
They're gonna need probably 9 to get into the playoffs, maybe 10.
How many do you think the Jets are winning then?
So the Jets have got a slightly easy schedule.
Okay.
So the Jets have got the Chargers, Raiders,
Yeah.
then Bills, then Dolphins, then Falcons, Texans, Dolphins again, then Commanders, Browns, and Patriots.
And they're
That's
grinding
winnable
at the moment.
games.
There's- 5 winnable games there for them.
Yeah.
5 wins there would take them up to 9.
Okay, it would be a lot closer than what I had predicted, but I still think the Bills make it as a wild card.
I think it's gonna be close, and I think it's gonna be cool to see how that turns
Yeah.
out. Anyway,
Yeah. My prediction of the week was just like this was the Bengals versus the Bills, so we don't need to talk too much about that. And then Ben, you're the last one up. What's your game of the week prediction?
I like Dolphins Chiefs. So the game in Germany, Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
Lots of good games this week. We've already spoken about a couple of them, but I like this one. Dolphins don't look convincing against good teams, and the Chiefs need to come back after getting popped by Denver. So could be in for a bit of a shootout on this one. You know, Chiefs are going to need to throw the ball around a little bit more. I don't think they're going to be able to just run the Dolphins off the park. The Dolphins have got it going. The Chiefs didn't look great this week, like we said, and assume they bounce back, but The defense still played pretty well, in all fairness, but yeah, I think the Chiefs probably do come out with the win. But I think away they're all in Germany.
Yeah.
Tua could just start balling out, try and put on a show. Tyreek Hill seems to be unguardable, so
Just raising bars every
I think that's going to be a juicy game.
And the penultimate segment for this week. So we're kind of adding two together. So it's going to be a bold take, but also we're going to be looking at trades. So it's called bold trades. We're very inventive here. So
hold on, just give us a roundup of the whole trading process, the trading deadline, which is tomorrow, Tuesday for us.
Is it Tuesday? Yeah. So by the time this comes out, we'll have already finished. But we have a trade deadline. In short, so you can't just done. You can't. So we've spoken about trades before in terms of how it works with the draft. It's fairly similar. You can trade picks. You can trade future picks. It's like how you do it at the draft, but you also trade players. But you have a deadline halfway through the season, so you don't just have players just making wild trades 2 weeks before the end of the season because they're like, I might have a chance of making the playoffs here. Quick, let me trade for all the awesome players just to make some money or get into the playoffs. Like it would just be chaos if you allowed that to happen. So they do it halfway through the season to say, look, here's your last chance. Get some players in if you want to, and move around as you look. Yeah,
there is still an element of that though, because what I've read this week is a lot of teams thinking, our season's pretty much done now.
Yeah.
What collateral can get instance to help rebuild next season?
But
there is an element of that.
There is 100%, but it's halfway through the season, which is then you need to be, because if you look at the tables right now, you've got like the entire AFC North. Like anyone could make the playoffs from that.
Yeah.
So like, how do you play that? You have to approach it from a, are we going to play long term? Are we going to play short term? Like who's available? We'll speak about a couple of players who are available and a couple of trades that have already happened in a second, but you have to play it fairly smart. You're also going to pay a little bit of a premium midway through the season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you're taking players off of a team that's already in season. Like in the off season, everyone knows where they stand. Midway through the season, it's a bit mixed, so you may have to pay a bit of a premium for certain players. So it's not something you see big teams doing, trading for big name players. You don't often see like a big team going like, I'm going to trade for a Tyreek Hill midway through the season and go all out. You'll see that normally around the draft when players are teams are trying to plan for the season. You normally see a couple of big name players who are usually on last year of their deals.
The same, McCaffrey was a big name that went quite late in the trade last year.
Yeah, I think he was on his last year of his deal then.
Yeah.
At the Panthers one. You normally see last year of the deal, players moving around because they want to extend their contracts elsewhere and get big money moves.
Yeah.
That's normally what you see. But it doesn't mean it's not interesting. There's still some movement to be had, and our predictions could change depending on any big trades that have happened. But yeah, what have we had moved so far? I haven't seen a huge amount.
So notable trades so far, before we go into our bold trades, is we've had Leonard Fournette to the Bills practice squad.
Yeah.
We've had Giants trade defensive lineman Leonard Williams to the Seahawks.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
You lot have given up.
They had them before.
Now they've actually just given up. Their loss to the Jets has just blown their minds. They're like, it's game over.
Yeah, that was brutal.
The Seahawks are vying for the win of that division,
no, they're looking good at the moment. They've won. Yeah, so Kevin Byard to the Eagles with Terrell Edmonds going the other way. Claypool to the Dolphins. So we'll not really talk about Claypool because he hasn't actually played that much this season.
Guy's garbage. Guy's garbage. And he talks too much about it, about how awesome he is.
I'm sure. When Bids and I went to watch London Blitz play in Finsbury Park, he was there.
Why would you be there?
No, maybe he has a mate he went to college with who plays for the London Blitz now. But yeah, I'm sure we saw him there. It was really strange.
I don't know that.
And then Mecole Hardman went from the Jets to the Chiefs. Also, Frank Clark went from the Broncos to the Seahawks as well. Just added another trade there. So now. Bold trades.
Seahawks making some big moves.
Yeah, they are. Especially
Seahawks
on defense.
trying to make a push.
Especially on defense. So we'll start with Ben. Have you got a bold trade for us?
I haven't got anything bold, but I think Chase Young probably makes a move.
Okay.
I don't think he sticks around. So he plays for the Commanders. For anyone who doesn't know, he's an absolute star defensive end. I don't think he sticks around. There's been a lot of chatter about him moving. I think he probably does just move. Doesn't look like he's going to stick around. The Commanders look like they want to just cash in and get rid because it just doesn't look like it's going to work out But there's a few teams who are probably in for him. I don't know who will actually get him, but probably a team like, well, I was going to say maybe the Seahawks, but Seahawks look like they've already made their moves. So I don't know who will make a move for him, but I think he'll probably get traded. I haven't got a bold trade, but Chase Young will probably move, yeah.
Okay, Bids, have you got any for us?
I got one, well, kind of two, but it's basically Vikings to make a trade for a QB, because I remember one of you said who their backup is, but I've forgotten already.
It's a rookie that came in the 5th round.
But wait, isn't their backup on IR? The backup's on IR.
The backup's Nick
and
Mullins.
their third choice is a rookie.
Yeah. 5th round pick, yeah.
5th round pick rookie, which is probably just going simulation mode and they just pick whoever's next. So they're going to need someone to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Because Jefferson will be back eventually.
Jefferson's
not going to stay if he's got no one throwing the ball.
Yeah, they need two quarterbacks.
They
got Jaron Hall.
Done either as well. They've just had 3 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
Like, they could still make a playoff run.
Yeah, so they're going to need to bring in a quarterback if they want to keep him. And I don't know what the sort of who's around, but we were speaking about whether it's Kyler Murray.
I said this at the start of the season, didn't I?
Say someone will get injured just before week 9, and then someone will get brought in. But then Kyler Murray.
They like Josh Dobbs. He's not expensive.
Josh Dobbs is who I was going to say next, because if Kyler Murray actually comes in for the Cardinals and starts, Josh Dobbs has lost his position, and he's been alright.
Yeah,
he's
good.
He's been good. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not move? He only moved there at the start of the season, didn't he? So
the squad's hit and miss, but he's been fine. Like,
how would that work in terms of contract though? Because if the way I think about like football, soccer, and if a player's brought in and then gets bought for 6 months later or less than, you got to buy out his whole contract. How does that work? Or do they just buy his contract?
Yeah, so it's. I think we've spoken about it a little bit before, but you have guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So basically, they will have to pay out his contract value. So whatever they have in guaranteed money for Josh Dobbs, they'll have to pay him, and that'll be a cap hit to them. So they'll have to pay out his contract, and then he'll get his contract with a new club. To be honest, Josh Dobbs probably isn't on a lot of guaranteed money. Kyler Murray will be on though. Yeah. So that I think they probably still want to move on from Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs is a cheaper option for a longer period of time. But yeah, I don't think Josh Dobbs is on a lot of guaranteed. I can have a look, but yeah, you have to pay out the value of the guaranteed money in the contract, which is why Lamar Jackson was after his guaranteed money. That's why players who are likely to get injured or are worried about injury, try and push for larger guaranteed money.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, it's gonna be potentially one of those two, or someone random like Will Levis. Will Levis is just who knows? Will Levis he'll probably get a chance at the Titans.
You got Jacoby Brissett. He's on the bench, riding the bench. He's not going to play. Maybe Marcus Mariota.
I was just thinking
He's riding that bench hard.
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah. Mariota's a good shout.
No, it's decent.
I mean, but he did have an awful season last year, and I think it made it so much worse that he was on the quarterback show and got benched. It was bad.
The only thing I would say is culture and organisation matter. We've said this a bunch of times. And do we really think the Falcons have got the right culture, the right setup? It just doesn't. The quarterbacks never seem to flourish. The last quarterback to flourish was Matt Ryan when he made it to the Super Bowl in the twilight of his career. Like, what was that? 7 years ago? That was 7 years ago, wasn't it? Now he remembers the date exactly. It was February 12th. It was like flashback.
Exactly where I was.
September 08.
Yeah, but that's
you know what I'm saying.
That's my whole trade.
Yeah. Setup, team, all matters. So Vikings have got a fairly good setup. They've got good wide receivers. They've got talent around them. Like, that's a good spot. That's a good landing spot for a quarterback. Yeah. O-line's fine. Like, O-line's pretty good. It's not great, but it's not bad. Could be a good landing spot for a quarterback who's looking to make a little move. Lots of injuries in quarterbacks at the moment, so lots of opportunity.
Every game is like the battle of the backups.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Bajent's getting game time. Yeah. Brian Hoyer's getting game time. I don't know why. That guy still gets game time.
You see Bajent's dad on that whatever TV show that was.
Is he?
He's a professional arm wrestler.
25-time arm wrestling champion. Dude is wham.
He got the presenter on arm wrestled him and made him call him daddy or something.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my god, man.
We'll post that clip on socials. On when this is live, you'll see those on socials. But
Yeah, that was.
yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Next.
Yeah, Kriski, you got a bold.
I love a bold one. So I gone for Derrick Henry to get a move. I think
Okay.
Titans season not really going in any direction. So I do think they might be.
Wait a minute, Will Levis looked good apparently, and maybe he's going somewhere.
No, but you never know. Like a team who does need a solid running back to come in, like I don't know, maybe Cowboys or something like that, just might go all out, get Derrick Henry, and then that might just be something just to absolutely elevate them to a real serious contender.
Tony Pollard's not doing it, is he?
No, so I was like potentially, yeah.
But the thing is, he's not doing it, and they're putting up 43 points in a game. So how much?
But he's at the defense.
I mean, yeah, we actually have been saying that from the start of the season, right? It's the defense putting up the numbers, and then that's just getting in there with the short fields. And
But wouldn't it be nice to see King Henry on another team?
it would be nice to see him on a competitive team.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Competitive team.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my nice little bold shout. Yeah.
And then for me, my bold trade is that the Chiefs need wide receiver talent. After Cortland Sutton cooked L'Jarius Sneed yesterday, I think they try and go for Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I would love them to go for Cortland Sutton. Get them a bona fide number one wide receiver, not a catching tight end, a bona fide wide receiver. Take the pressure off Travis Kelce. Also take the pressure off all of these rookie and second year wide receivers. And that, and actually give Patrick Mahomes someone who he can trust to throw to, and trust me, the team will take off, especially offensively. So yeah,
Is Cortland Sutton known?
Corn sounds good.
yeah, he's very good.
Like Jerry Jeudy as well.
Yeah.
He looked good. Jerry Judy's back. He looked good.
Yeah, and the thing is, before the game yesterday, I think the rumours were that Broncos were going to basically have a fire sale of players, and they were looking at shopping Jerry Jeudy, they were looking at shopping Cortland Sutton, and now they've won that game, they might think, are we a sneaky bet for a wild card now? They probably think they're back in some sort of race. So now that might have changed things, that's the trade I would like to see happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and on to our last segment of the week is Ben's Bankers. So Ben, you made yourself money last week.
Hey, that's on you guys for not taking it, yeah? So
Did you?
oh, you took it at 17 to 1?
Something like that,
Yeah. So
I made some money.
yours for some reason yours were garbage. But so last week Sunday we were chatting about it. We needed TJ Hockenson to get his 50. He smoked it. He got 11 catches, 86 yards. Hopefully some of you took it. I had a couple of DMs. Some people took it. Some people took it at a slightly lower value. But that's on you. You make your peace at that point. Yes. Someone took it at 8 to 1. Some of us made hundreds. That's on you. So 27 to 1 came in. So we are way up on the season. Hopefully you've been following them because we've had a couple of juicy wins so far this season. So that was last Sunday. Thursday's results weren't as promising, weren't as good. So Mike Evans didn't connect as we expected him to. Well, I expected him to. He only got targeted 6 times, but he only caught 3. Diggs had 9 catches off of 12 targets. And when he gets those numbers, he normally gets 100 yards. He didn't. So we had him to get 100. He did not get 100 yards. He got mad catches, but just didn't get the yardage. Yeah. Lots of shorts. So unfortunately,
the Bucs defended him well.
Yeah, they did. They
he's
did.
Not beating us.
Yeah.
That's why Gabe Davis went off.
He got the Gabe Davis had yards. I was so annoyed.
Kincaid as well.
Yeah, Kincaid did. So slightly misjudged that one. They got the yards, but the Diggs didn't get those yards as I thought he would. And then our Sunday's results that we just had. So no touchdown for Taylor. For some reason, Zach Moss was given the goal line carry and scored. I was pissed. I mean, I have him in my fantasy team, but he's on the bench. I was fuming. So this is just a mess. And Scary Terry dropped, my favourite, Scary Terry dropped a couple of catchable balls, but they were quite low. But he dropped like 2 that were like, come on man, you should be making that. He got 63. He only needed 12 more. Any of those 3 that he could have caught were for 12 minimum. So he would have got his 75. Close, not quite. So we were close. There were opportunities there, but didn't quite go our way. And as usual, the Thursday tips will be up now by the time this goes out, and then the usual Sundays will be up Saturday.
Nice, we go again.
Absolutely. Yeah, anything else?
Oh, random fact about Arthur Smith. His father founded FedEx.
What?
Yeah. So he's an heir to the FedEx throne. That's probably why he doesn't care that much about his coaching.
You really have got
doesn't care that much. Damn. Okay.
Wow. I
Cool.
genuinely don't know how to respond to that. Like,
Yeah.
well,
All right. Anyway,
that is very
on that.
pointless knowledge
Yeah.
of Arthur
Jeez.
Smith. And also just another dig at the Falcons for no apparent reason when you've already had your moment and you still gone back there.
Damn.
Thank you.
On that note, like, subscribe, write us a review. It all helps us. And yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll catch you in the next one.